All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Above the Bar podcast, where we discuss everything above the bar. And it just so happens today we have an AI company here to discuss how this AI business tool will handle leads while you sleep. I'm here with Michael Packard, owner of First There AI, which is a new and upcoming AI business. We're going to discuss how this thing handles your leads literally while you sleep. But first, we're going to give a shout out to the Mountain Valley water because they're the only hydration that's above the bar. Let's get our Mountain Valley clinking.
JP?
We haven't shattered one yet. The glass is even above the bar, not just the water inside of it.
I've broken a few of them.
Mike, I think it's important first to show people just a demo. What is the product? We understand it handles leads 24/7, 365, but what is the product? Can you show us a demo of it?
Yeah, I definitely can. In short, the product is every time that your CRM gets a new lead, we are contacting them, we are answering their questions, we are setting those leads. We do have a demo available. I can run you guys through exactly how it looks. I think the important thing too is to think about what your current process looks like. Like a lot of our customers that we go to, I'm like, do you have 24/7 lead coverage? They're like, yeah, we have automations in our CRM. And so if a lead comes in at 8 p.m., we're able to handle it. I'm like, okay, can I see that automation? And it's just like a boilerplate text message from their CRM that says, hey, this is so-and-so concrete coatings. We'll be back in office at 8 a.m. on Monday. We'll call you then. And I guess you can sort of argue that you have around the clock coverage if they're getting that, but you're still going to wait 3 days to call them if it comes in Friday night. So our product is a little bit different. We have an AI agent that's able to answer common questions. It's able to look at your sales guys' calendars. It's able to set appointments. 24/7, 365. You're sleeping, he's setting leads. So the demo here, I just launched it. You guys are able to see it on screen there. Effectively how it works, we introduce your company, we ask we give them a CTA, do you have any questions about this? And then it's really up to the customer. So one of the most common questions is, what is your pricing? And so our AI agent is trained to match whatever sales process you guys have. And so in this case, if I ask for pricing, he's not just going to say, hey, here's our price. What we're going to do is say, pricing depends on a lot of factors. The best thing to do is get a free, no cost, no pressure estimate with one of our sales guys. And then we ask some more questions. We kind of, try to uncover some additional information. So here we're asking, what kind of project are you looking to tackle?
This is a little bit more robust. It just depends on what the response is / what the business's sales process or marketing practice is. This isn't just the same text sent. This is pretty robust.
Correct. And it's 100% customizable. So we have specific customers that are like, hey, I want to disclose my job minimum because I don't want to send my sales guys out there if it's going to be 95 minutes away and they think they're going to get this service for $200. I want them to know up front it's $1,000 minimum or whatever that is. So we're able to do that and communicate whatever messages you guys want to that customer.
This is nuts. As the national sales manager, I've been able to see a lot of behind the scenes when it comes to setting those appointments. But the fact that it can customize a personalized text message, is there any way someone on the other end could tell that it was AI?
Not really. We'll never lie to your customers either. We don't come out and say, hey, this is an AI agent, but we also don't come out and say, hey, this is a human. Yeah. The way that we talk about this is this is another member of your team. Yeah. And so, that's how we market it. There are some customers that are like, hey, I want it to feel very human because I don't like when, AI is, just rammed down my throat. And so what we can do is we simulate a bit of a delay. So in the demo, it's turned off so you can quickly interact with it and see how it works. But when we deploy this in live, we simulate a random number between 60 and 90 seconds for a delay. And so people aren't getting an instant answer to 3 hard questions all at once. And so it does feel very human, and there's things we can do to customize that experience.
So we'll complete this demo for us just so we can see the full process, but it looks like it's already even asking for your address.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we have pre-qualification criteria, right? So I pretend that, this is my address. I'm looking for a 2-stall garage, and it says, okay, now let's get to the point where we qualify. And, if it's in service area, all this stuff is super intelligent. So behind the scenes, what we're doing right now while it's thinking is it's looking at, all of the locations we have that are acceptable for your business. And it's looking at that customer's address. We're calling Google to say, hey, what's the difference? What's the drive time between, is it in service area?
Yeah, because I mean, this just gave you a time. So this is reading other estimates on your calendar to geographically make it make sense.
Exactly. So what it's doing, it's integrated with your CRM. We assign, whatever sales guys you have to a specific region or a specific office. And we say, hey, these 3 guys have availability. Let's offer the first available time, because like this product is intended to solve speed to lead. But one of the most important things when it comes to closing deals and getting more revenue is speed to meet. And so not only is it suggesting times and qualifying leads, it's suggesting the first available times.
Would you be able to customize as in like, hey, I would want these leads scheduled a week out? Like you could customize the timeline as to when we want to go out there and meet with them?
100%. Yeah. So we pass that as a requirement to the agent, and we say, hey, like for a lot of our customers, like, hey, we don't do same day appointments. Like we're going to have at least like next day is going to be the first available slot. So we're not just dropping stuff in on sales guys' calendars for same day. But, we are for believers in speed to meet. But if for whatever reason our customer's like, hey, we are completely booked or whatever, like we want to set things a week out, we can make that a default behavior. Or the other thing we can do is like, it does read your calendar. And so if you're like, hey, I need to set these leads for a week out because all of my guys are in training this week, like just put a training block on their calendar. We read that. We say, hey, there's no one available. Like we will still talk to all your leads, and we offer times. It's going to read your calendar and make sure that people are available.
Well, it's kind of crazy too. Like JP, I know when we've had new marketers, have the drive time sometimes been messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And this, again, geographically, like just always being able to evaluate the drive times is, I feel like, a massive bonus as well, because I know it takes some time where we get a new marketer and the sales guys will tell immediately because some of their drive times are longer and just maybe out of, just way off path, versus this is, should be 99% accurate.
Yeah. And we're able to go in and like, if you have 3 or 4 sales guys that are out of Fort Wayne or whatever, and you say, hey, so-and-so lives north of Fort Wayne, so-and-so lives south of FortAyne, like let's prioritize those southern appointments for the guy that lives closer to that. Like 100% of this is customizable. Like we can build basically any logic to match whatever kind of like your business process is.
What is the final steps of this look like when it says, does that work for you? Like, is it just...
Yeah. So if I go through and I say, yes, that does work for me, then what it does is it will book something directly onto your CRM's calendar. It will send an alert to your salesperson, and it will summarize this conversation. So like your sales reps will get a note that says, hey, this is Mike. He lives at this address. He was talking about a 2-stall garage. When I asked him what type of project, I confirmed he was in service area. Like, here you go. And so like every single time your sales reps get like that context of whatever the conversation was. The other thing you can do here is like, we call it the happy path of like, this is like the most streamlined version of it. But if I throw a curveball and I'm like, I have concerns about your warranty. If I just say that, it will say, all of our products are backed by XYZ warranty. And like we train it on all of these common questions. We sit down with you before we deploy this thing. And so like it is, super intelligent.
The AI also scrubs like websites, again, sales processes, like SOPs, like it can learn off of what documentation you already have as a business, correct?
Yeah. So we go through and we build like a version 0 knowledge base, based on your website, based on your branding, all of that stuff. And so, yes, it's completely customizable to your product, your service area, things like that.
How long is that initial meeting when, you have someone that is interested in what you got? Like, how long is that initial meeting of like setting it up?
Yeah, I mean, once we get to the point where like the contract is signed and the customer wants to move forward, we kick off onboarding on our side. And it's, we, again, like I said, we bring a version 0 based on your website to that appointment. And then, we take 90 minutes to kind of walk through like, hey, this is what we see on your website. Is this accurate to kind of like your internal sales process? Because sometimes the marketing content on your websites may be a little bit outdated, or there's a special that you guys are running that's not on your website, or things like that. So in general, it's like a 90-minute meeting that we run through to just kind of hammer out exactly what it should say in all these scenarios.
I got to ask, because at the end of the day, First There AI seems like, for a home service company watching, like this seems like a no-brainer. I don't think anybody's like contesting that. I think it's a no-brainer for home service companies. If you don't have anybody 24/7 that's as robust as First There, which, well, I mean, I feel like we're pretty developed in terms of our systems and processes, and like we didn't have that. So I would imagine most people don't. The value is there. How much does it cost?
So we have a couple different buckets of costs. Like there's an upfront fee that we work with you, but that's just, covers my team's time to go out and, spend the time to build this solution. Then there's a monthly commitment that we have. And again, this is a white glove service. So we manage everything. We manage the phone numbers, we manage the compliance, we manage the storage, we manage like all of that stuff. And so there's a monthly fee. And then the last portion of cost is a per lead handled fee. So it's a small fee. Every time that we get a new lead, we have to invoke our agent, like wake them up. There's costs that we pay to, our providers. And so there's a per lead fee as well.
I know like our monthly fee, or like I've seen like your structure of how much people pay per month, and it's like really a drop in the bucket. It's not a ton of money on the monthly fee. Like really where you're paying is the per lead, and as you scale, obviously you'll pay more, which seems, I feel like, very fair, because it's like, hey, if we're getting way more leads and it's setting way more leads for us, our revenue should be following that same curve. Mm-hmm. So I'm always a big fan of like companies that I'm paying at the level of value they're bringing, which I feel like First There does. Is the more value they bring, the more money they make, but also the more money we make as well, which, I'm always a fan of when I work with companies, which kind of made it a no-brainer for us to work with First There.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves, like we say, like we win when you win. We do not lock you into contracts either. So like we are exclusively month to month. If you plug us in for 2 weeks and say, hey, like this isn't for me, like you don't have to, there's no buyout, there's nothing like that. Like you just say, hey, like we'll go our separate ways. But yeah, the other thing too, like we charge based on per lead. So exactly to your point, if you're doing, 500 leads, like you're going to pay a set amount, but if you double your revenue, or you double your lead volume, you're guaranteeing that every single one of those leads is, going to be contacted immediately. It's going to be smart scheduled, all of those things. So, we scale with our customers, and that's our whole goal. Is we don't want to be one of those, services where you come in and you pay us one time and then, 2 months later, you're like, what the heck did I write that check for? Like our goal is to be there for, multiple years with each one of our customers.
JP.
Sounds way too good to be true. This sounds insane.
More leads and smart leads as a sales rep.
That's not.
What are your thoughts?
Like here again, I mean, I'm so like, it's not my branch that I'm necessarily like in, but hearing stuff like that is pretty insane. I mean, how nice would it be for a rep to show up and it's like, yeah, they got back to me right away. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was just doom scrolling, set up an appointment for the next day.
What establishes your standard and speed to lead, like with First There.
Yeah.
I've really tried to pride AE in getting back in a very timely manner, right? And the only time I can guarantee, because I can't guarantee that people are going to show up every single day, and we typically only cover 8 to 8 during Monday through Friday, and then we typically covered 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the weekend. So like I'm not going to sit here and say, and I feel like our call center availability is pretty wide at that point, right? And we still didn't have 24/7 coverage. So the only going with First There was the only thing that I could guarantee that we'd be there 24/7, 365 in under 11 seconds, which is insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
For sure. I mean, we look back at like all of our customer lead data, just so like we're constantly learning and evolving, but like 45% of our customers' leads came outside normal business hours. And so, you're paying, 50 to 100 to 150, depending on what, vertical you're in per lead, right? For a few more dollars per lead, are you going to say, hey, like, I want all of those to be instantly contacted? And like 45% of those are when you don't have someone sitting at your CRM ready to tackle them. Like, let us do that for you.
I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's literally called First There AI. How many times have you guys went with the company that got back to you first? How many times have you guys? I know I do every time. Called an asphalt guy the other day. There were 3 other people. The guy that showed up first, I just signed the contract. I said, sure. I didn't even get other estimates. You ever bought something when somebody was first there, JP?
Me? Oh, yeah.
You ever sold something when we were first there?
The convenience of that is what can you put a price on that?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And like, it's a competitive like landscape, right? Like if you look at concrete coatings companies, or if you look at, decorative borders like you guys do, like in some cases you may be the only shop in town, and, in those ones you can afford to be a little bit like, slower to respond to your leads. It's a bad habit. You can still do it. But the minute there's another shop in town, like customers want things now. Like they pay for convenience. Look at Amazon Prime, right? Yeah. Like they want stuff now. And so if, the same lead is going to fill out a form on your website and your 3 competitors' website, the biggest difference is going to be who can get back to me quickest and who can get on site to give me an estimate, because in their minds, like product differentiation, it's like it's hard to tell. And so whoever gets there first and does a good job and makes them feel comfortable wins the sale like 80% of the time.
As a sales rep too, I mean, it's a big confidence thing, just like hitting on that and being like, hey, you know, curious, like how fast did the office get to you? And it's like, oh wow, within 30 seconds at 9 p.m. That's wild.
JP, how effective is if we get to them in 11 seconds and we set that lead for the same day as a sales rep, you're out there within the same day. Do you think you have a good chance of closing that deal?
Oh yeah.
You love same days?
I love same days. They make me drool at the mouth.
Your sales team should fall in love with same days.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
prioritize it at AE. Every company should, and the ability to integrate first there, you know, for us, and the ability to just schedule them and get in communication with them within 11 seconds, and then have the ability to schedule them within the same day, again, 24/7. I mean, we've said it, 100 times already, but it's pretty insane.
Man, that's changing the business, but then the people like in the business as well. And that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
Parker to say that about like his company and the impact it's having on his employees, like that's
no, I mean, it means a lot, like to be that partner for, multiple home service companies that are doing, tens of millions of dollars of revenue every year, for them to say, hey, like, I trust you to handle my leads. Like, that's not something we take lightly. And like, we do go, to the end of the earth to make sure that, every single interaction we have with your customers is exactly how you want it to be. So it's, it's a privilege and a responsibility that we have to, do the right thing with all these leads.
I mean, after 15 minutes of watching this, everybody's watching this wants it now. They do. How do they go and get it, Mike? Where do they go?
There's a couple different ways. You can find us on socials. We're First There AI on Facebook, Instagram. You can go to firstthereai.com, fill out our form. We'll be in contact. There's also a...
Will you be in contact in under 11 seconds?
I was just gonna say you're confident joking back with you.
Something tells me that you have this actually responding to your business as well for leads.
We do. We have First There for us as well. And then lastly, there's going to be a number on the screen right now that you can text and get a demo for your home service business as well. So text it, let us know if you're interested, and then hit us up on First There AI.
JP, anything to close it out?
Well, if you text him, just be confident he'll get back to you fast.
There's almost there is a guarantee, actually. Guys, I appreciate, Mike, you coming on. JP, appreciate you sitting next to me. I did get some free merch. JP missed the memo. We didn't have his size. He can't fill a large
Jersey
one.
swap.
Jersey swap.
Jersey swap.
We can get one. If I get some AE merch, we can do a swap.
All right, let's go.
Because at the end of the day, if you're a home service-based business and you're not responding to leads 24/7, 365 in under 11 seconds, you have a problem. Mike has a solution. Go to First There AI. He already said the numbers on the screen. Text the demo if you're not a believer. You will become a believer after you see that. And hit up First There AI. We appreciate you guys watching another episode of the Above the Bar.